Now joining us on SME is Dr. Elizabeth Falabi, the MD of Fit to Fit. She is a licensed physician that is passionate about and specializes in overall health and well-being. She obtained her Doctors of Medicine from the American International School of Medicine and is an active member of the American College of Preventive Medicine. Her mission is to help as many individuals as possible attain and maintain optimal health without necessarily placing emphasis on body size, but by focusing on overall well-being. You are welcome here, Dr. Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Now, while I was telling all that, you were like, oh, is that me? But yes, it is you. So good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Before we go into this as a business, which is what you do, I first want to ask a question. How come that you want to focus on just general well-being instead of focusing on people's, body size or what they look like when it comes to health?
Okay. So it's just from research, it's been found there's so many unhealthy people who look thin, slim, as you want to call it. And so that just tells you that body size sometimes is not equal to health. You know, when sometimes it might be important because if you're obese, you're probably unhealthy, but you can also be slim or skinny and be unhealthy. So that's really what it is for me.
Okay, but then again, our society, modern society, often makes it seem like as if once you are big in size, that you're definitely unhealthy. Is that correct? Not necessarily, is it?
Not necessarily, but for the most part, it could be true.
Okay.
No, because if you carry a lot of fat, that's the problem. You can carry a lot of muscle, you can carry a dense bone. That doesn't make you unhealthy, but if you carry a lot of fat, then you might be unhealthy. You might be carrying fat around your visceral organs, which are not safe for your health.
Okay. So let's talk about this from a business angle now. What do you do as a health practitioner here in Nigeria? How do you exercise your profession?
I think my primary role is just to remind people of the essence of health, just in general. And I think I try to take away from the traditional, doctor's visit, if you want to call it that, and just be comfortable. Don't overthink it. And sometimes you let yourself go, and that way I'm able to just grab what you're really going through and how we can help you.
So do people come to you like a regular doctor's visit, or what makes it different from the regular doctor's visit?
So the great thing about physicians, and I tell this to my friends all the time, you tell your patients, oh, live well, exercise, eat right. You don't equip them with how. That's the problem. And sometimes people want to do all this great stuff, but they need somebody to maybe teach them well, or even hold their hands on how to do it. And I think that's where I come in.
Right.
I work along with physicians, and I think it makes it better. Because when I know the state of health, just because I have a knowledge of that as well, we're able to incorporate all the lifestyle changes that are necessary to get people to the optimum health they need to be in.
Oh, that's very interesting. Did you notice, or do you notice that here in Lagos, that you have more demand for the things that you do than in other geographical places in Nigeria, or perhaps maybe even the world?
Absolutely.
I'm going somewhere. Yeah, so you tell me.
Absolutely.
Why is that so?
And I think it's a good thing that people are now cautious and they're like forward thinking. People want to live well. People want to live long. I think because Lagos is Lagos,
Lagos is stressful. Let's say it, Elizabeth. Lagos is the most stressful place to ever live. If you're going to live here, you can live anywhere else, and your health might just take a... I'm sorry, I'm ranting. But
Sure.
it is a fact that
Yes.
the more that you engage in the stresses that you go through will actually affect your health.
Absolutely.
People like you come into play here. Now, it's a business. Well, do we call it a business or it's a passion?
That's a good one.
Is it?
It's a passion. I love to do it, but it's a business,
Because it makes you money and you have to make a living. You have to eat. It's also something that one cannot go into without having the right equipment, the right education, the right practice, and all of that, isn't it?
Yes.
So for people who find themselves passionate about caring for other people and do not have the educational background as you do, how can they find themselves applying that passion into this kind of work of life?
Well, so passion.
I'm sorry I put you on the spot.
Passion is a great thing to have, but if you don't have the resources, it might be a little challenging. And the education, like we talked about, because the truth is you want to equip people I tell people majority of what I do is education. And I have put in the time, I've put in the energy, I've put in the money, even to get trained to be at this place I am. So you have to, because there's so many people, there's so many informations available now that are not
the right information.
Not the right information. So you have to, you know, do the work so that when you set out to help somebody or tell somebody the right thing to do, you actually feeding them with the right information. And just do your best.
All right.
You know.
So information and training.
Yes.
If I'm going to perhaps maybe one day have my own setup, much like you do, and I don't have as much education as you do, is it too late to start seeking such education or getting such training? And how much will this cost me? Because I'm figuring that it will be a lot of money.
Well, I'll start by saying it's never too late. You know, I have been in school, like my education altogether took me nearly 13 years.
Oh, wow.
You know, I had to do an undergrad before I went into medical school and fellowship programs and just a lot of things. But I'm grateful because that's what I'm riding on right now. So it's never too late. If anybody wants to start now, why not? You know, it might cost money.
Yeah, let's talk about the money. Because a lot of people out there want to know, don't you guys? Like, to see yourself through such an education, and if you were to give a rough figure of how much it costs you, for people who are still very young out there, what are they looking at? And this training or education, are they local or are they foreign?
It will cost a lot of money. I would just say that because I think I can like estimate roughly. But of course, my education has been all over the world, really. I've had education here in Nigeria, in other countries. So, and the good thing now, you know, we live in a global world. Online training, you know, certifications all over the place.
Yeah.
So you can always get educated as long as you want to. There are even free trainings, you know.
So we're going to go into a bit of specifics now. I'm sure a lot of people are listening to Dr. Liz here and asking or wondering exactly what kind of specific services you render to people, just so they have an idea of what we're talking about here.
Okay. Just at the top of my finger, my primary focus is health education, medical weight loss, because some people struggle with the weight, and so you have to do a little extra. We do IV infusion therapies.
What's that? IV infusion therapy.
Okay. So this is my nice way of saying it. People suffer from the little things, and they don't even know.
Okay.
Just vitamin deficiency can interfere with your life, just way more than you can even imagine.
Okay.
You know, so, but from talking to me, sometimes I base it on objective or subjective, what you tell me or what I can see. I can tell you sometimes maybe it's just a mineral you're deficient in or just a vitamin, and we're able to infuse you for replenishment, you know. We have gym services, we have fitness instructors to get people to...
All-round wellness.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what kind of people what kind of people do you employ under your services? You're a doctor, and them what now?
Multidisciplinary. Nutritionist, a nurse, a fitness coach, a human kinetic person, and we have like a psychologist as well.
So that's more attainable now, because when people out there are thinking about all the education and money they have to spend to get to your level, they're like, I can never do that. But now that you're telling me the hands that you employ, I'm beginning to think this is more attainable, because if I'm a fitness person, I could work under you. If I'm a nutritionist, I could work under you, and so on and so forth. Aha. Now
it's not a one-man show.
Yes, of course, it's not a one-woman show. How big is your operation?
It's about 7 staff right now. And the great thing is, you know, we don't try to just be what you're not. I don't try to be a trainer. I am certified. I train people. But the great thing is some people are just built to do certain things. And so in discharging any care, we all sit to discuss every single person that works in there. Like, okay, so I have seen this person. How do we tailor a need for this particular person? And so I don't try to do the work of my nutritionist.
Nice.
She's a professional.
And every single patient, we call them patients?
Yes.
Every single patient has a very different set of needs.
Yes.
Of course, and you have to be the person to say, okay, this is what you need, but this is the person that's going to handle that for you. So you refer to your nutritionist, your fitness, what do you call
Instructors.
them? Instructors and all of that. That is amazing, Elizabeth. Dr. Elizabeth. She worked 13 years to get that. And it's grand to have you here. A word for anybody out there who perhaps maybe wants to do what you do, or perhaps maybe offer any of the services that you offer.
Just go for it.
Go for
really,
it.
just go for it. But
Not
you
at
should
the
know your
age.
stuff, because the essence of whatever you're doing is to just deliver the best service. You know, so if you go and you don't know what you're doing, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. Really.
Okay. Well, that's grand. That's grand.